Kevin Durant, going into the playoffs, had not lost a regular season game since November. And yet, he's lost 7 straight playoff games. Coincidence? Maybe, maybe not. Obviously, playoff games, better defenses, better coaches. But I would say this. I didn't think the Suns were ready to play. I think the time off, they took too much time off. KD wasn't playing last couple of regular season games. They just had too much time off. They got buried early. It happens. And it's also a cliche, but when you watch the game beginning to end, it did feel like the Clippers just kind of wanted it more. And they were playing with incredible intensity. But KD had fewer shots in this game than DeAndre Ayton. That can never happen again. And he also, in the last 6.5 minutes of the game, had 1 shot. Monty Williams, not good. Bad coaching afternoon for Monty Williams. You cannot allow that to happen. You call timeouts. Bark from the sideline. You can't be just observing a game. You've got to be into the game. And listen, it's hard to be the perfect coach. But I thought, and Chris Paul, that's on you. Chris, get him shots. DeAndre Ayton can never have more shots than KD. Now, KD in his history has done this before, where he will allow kind of a young, energetic, smaller, pesky, energetic guy, Patrick Beverly, or a Russell Westbrook, to kind of get in his kitchen, get up on him, and bother him. Remember Pat Bev back in 2019? Remember that KD is part of Golden State, and Pat Bev gets in his face. KD took only 8 shots in the game, and you know who I am, Kevin Durant, after the game. Well, from that point forward, KD averaged 41.5 points a game in the series. But he did let Pat Bev for a couple of games disrupt him. He let Westbrook yesterday absolutely, inarguably disrupt him. You can get physical, you can get in his space, you can get him off his game, but he will bounce back. That's what KD does. This is a long series. I still like the Suns. So let's talk Warriors. I predicted the Warriors would win in 6, but they would probably lose game 1 to Sacramento. This was going to be Mardi Gras, light the beam very loud. So remember, the Warriors, don't overreact on a Monday. The Warriors were in trouble in the finals last year after 3 games, and then they dominated it. The Milwaukee Bucks, in the year they won the title, got down twice in the playoffs, 0-2. There's a couple of reasons why you shouldn't worry about the Warriors. Number one, they adapt and adjust better, in my opinion, than any team in the league for 10 years. They are great at adjusting in a series. Secondly, Andrew Wiggins is just getting acclimated. Wiggins was gassed. This is his first game in a long time. He missed 23 games at the end of the season, and it was not because of an injury. So he's fine. He just doesn't have his wind yet. In the first 3 quarters, he had 17 points and shot 58% from the floor. In the fourth quarter, he shot 0%. He was gassed. So Andrew Wiggins, and we talked about this last week. How much could you get from Wiggins? I have real concerns that in this first round of the playoffs, you can give him about 18 minutes, and that's all he's going to have. And you saw it on display. He was gassed by the fourth quarter. He had a shot in the corner. He didn't have his legs. Now, the good news, having Wiggins back, it gives the Warriors 9 really good players they can lean on. 8 of them, Kuminga doesn't count, have a lot of playoff experience. Steph and Clay and Looney and Draymond and Dante DiVincenzo's a veteran, been around the block, and Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole. Jonathan Kuminga doesn't have a lot of playoff experience, but he's a big body. He gives them depth, and when Wiggins was out, he was able to grow his game and evolve and get better. So they got 9 deep, 8 deep that have been around the league for a while. I think they're going to be fine. This is a great adjusting team, and it was fairly predictable. The biggest basketball game in Sacramento in forever, and they pulled it out late. The issue here is how much can you get out of Andrew Wiggins? So the good news is Wiggins now gives the Warriors something they didn't have the last 2 months: front court scoring. It also allows Draymond Green to roam a little bit defensively where has no peer. But Wiggins just doesn't have enough win yet to give you 4 great quarters. So it's just going to be a process. I think Golden State's still going to win this series. Milwaukee lost. I think they're going to win this series. Now, Cleveland lost. I'm not sure they're going to beat the Knicks for a variety of reasons. That series is the one to keep your eye on. First game losses are not punitive. You can absolutely win a series. This was a fairly predictable game one outcome. There's a lot of reasons why this favors the Warriors over time. They have the better coach. I know Mike Brown won Coach of the Year. He's been fired twice. Steve Kerr's got 4 titles. They have guys that have been in the playoffs. 8 of their guys, 7 of their 9 actually. Kuminga hasn't played a lot in the playoffs. Dante DiVincenzo had that. I don't know how many playoff minutes he has. It's not in front of me. But you got a lot of guys with playoff experience. They're also, like Sacramento, great at home. They're not going to lose to Sacramento at a home game. All you got to do is win one game. My guess is Golden State wins game 2 in the series. It all comes down to how much can you play Andrew Wiggins? Because when he was on the floor, he's a complete difference maker. I talked to Marcus Thompson last night, who covers the Warriors for The Athletic. He said in all his years covering the Warriors, it was the best locker room after a loss ever. Everybody in the Warriors locker room was like, Wiggins is back. It totally changes the team. He's a former number 1 pick. He's one of the great cardio guys in the league, right? Like the fact that he missed 23 games, came out and played really well for 3 quarters, pretty good indication the Warriors are going to be okay. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.